dangerous path from the Gold Coast through Brisbane's northwestern suburbs to the Sunshine Coast. There were many tales of direct hits and thankfully near misses. Some schools and rail lines were closed.
The force of the storm hitting Ferny Hills. The Maxfield sisters stopped filming.
Dad was actually inside holding the windows because he thought it might have broken, the hail might have broken through the windows.
Yeah. Live wires were down on streets and cars. A tree cracked the Ferny Grove police station's roof. This was Mother Nature's 10-pin bowling alley. Today, shock set in for Annette Greenberry.
I just thank God my son wasn't home, or I wouldn't have him. That's exactly in front of that window where his computer desk is that he sits at.
Annette was trapped by a massive tree. Most of her top floor is gone.
The roof fell, she had to climb over the roof to get out.
Tansy and Dave didn't realise their roof had gone the same way as their tank, blasted onto Bunny Road.
We were wondering why it was so loud because we heard the hail, but it's never been this loud before.
The Tanner's Pole home now has an addition.
We thought we were going to go down the hill. It was that bad.
The family had to evacuate.
Scary. Holly was crying and God was scared.
Blackouts closed many Capera businesses today, though the local Retrovision was opening its freezers to residents with no power at home. Fallen trees cut rail lines, passengers bussed between Ferny Grove and Mitchelton.
I spent half my day on public transport.
Delays too for North Coast commuters. This freight train derailed near Caboolture. With lights out, it wasn't much faster on many roads. This Eden's Hill home didn't escape. A gum tree crashed right through it.
Oh, did it what? Scared the hell out of everybody.
Scott Sheridan's car is now a convertible.
Come home, drove straight down the backyard, and before we found this. Unbelievable.
A handful of homes in Pullenvale were hit hard. Trees down everywhere.
It just came out of nowhere. It was very sudden and suddenly you couldn't see. There were things flying through the air.
This Red Bank plain ceiling collapsed under the weight of water. Goodna generators came in handy. Water damaged Morayfield classrooms. Trees snapped at the Gap Creek State School.
We come up and down on the Gold Coast because there's not enough tree lopping crews in Brisbane.
At the high school, more clean-up crews.
Of the 10 state schools damaged in last night's wild storms, only Morayfield was completely closed. A further 3 Catholic schools were shut today.
No luck at escaping Year 12 exams. Jennifer Nichols, 7 News.
And joining me here at the Gap now is Brisbane Lord Mayor Campbell Newman, who's been checking the damage firsthand since early this morning. Lord Mayor, your nickname is Can Do. What can you do for the residents at this time?
Well, the big thing we're trying to do, Kay, is just deal with roofs that need to be tarped. We now have 900 jobs registered with the SAS. About 30% of them require tarpaulins, etc. The other thing we're trying to do is assist Energex. There is a huge amount of vegetation that has to be moved so we can get the power on. The fact that there's so much devastation on those power lines means that people in the Gap tonight, unfortunately, will have a night without power.
There are also concerns about contaminated drinking water. What should be done there?
Well, what happened was the roof of the Gap reservoir conveniently ended up inside of the reservoir, and of course that has contaminated the water with the sort of stuff that we collect on a roof. So we're advising people to boil that. We're trying to get both the Army and other agencies out with tanker water or bottled water, but I can't provide any information on that at this stage. But if people can boil the water at this time until we tell them otherwise, that's in the Gap.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Look, it's extraordinary. I mean, I just ask for people's patience because there is so much that has happened here, so much vegetation down, so much destruction of power lines and vital infrastructure. It's going to take time to fix.
Lord Mayor, you're asking for patience. Are you happy with the immediate response to this disaster?
I've been pressing on council and state officials who I've been talking to only in the last half hour, but we have to get more resources first light tomorrow morning. We've got to hit this very hard.
So you're not happy with the immediate response?
I think it's taken us a bit too long during the day. I want to get more resources on the job tomorrow morning, and a reality check that I've just delivered is get the people out. Now, Deputy Prime Minister Julie Gillard spoke to myself and the Premier this afternoon and offered the assistance. So we need the Army out in force tomorrow and anybody else that we can spare from surrounding councils.
Lord Mayor, you're a very busy man. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay. Well, there are plenty of bleary-eyed staff around Channel 7 studios today after an all-night effort to clean up flooding from last night's storms there. Thousands of dollars worth of computers and cameras destroyed after water gushed through the roof of the newsroom just before 6 o'clock.
When you hear a thunderclap half a second after lightning strikes, you know you're really in the middle of it. The storms brought so much rain, Channel 7's roof just couldn't take the weight. Corridors filled with water, computers destroyed. Chaotic. It was unbelievable. I mean, I didn't expect that I'd need to bring my gumboots to work when I came in today. Tonight staff wish they had theirs.
And this is a couple of hours after the storm is finished, so yeah, it's going to be a lot of cleaning up. But we'll still get TT there tomorrow night.
And despite the chaos, amazingly 7 News did get to air last night. Staff dropped everything and came to the station to help out. The whole scene was enough to shock the man who has been organising and planning the coverage of news stories for 41 years.
Oh, I've not seen anything like that. Not at 5 o'clock at night. And water pouring everywhere, computers gone. And to be able to come back from that, that's one of the amazing things in television.
Though for a while it was touch and go. Welcome to the Channel 7 newsroom. It's about 7 centimetres deep in water at the moment.
Well, it's a little bit drier underfoot today, but there's still plenty of cleaning up to do. The whole station's been dried out by these huge industrial fans, so not the easiest working conditions, but there is one guarantee: we will keep bringing you the news every night. Talitha Cummins, 7 News.
The South East hasn't seen a storm with such ferocity since 1984. To explain how it developed, here's John.
Thanks, Kay. Good evening. We had the perfect combination of ingredients yesterday in South East Queensland. Now, firstly, remember the past week we've been very unsettled, so there's a lot of moisture in the air, and the temperatures yesterday got up to the mid-30s. So as the storm started to form, that warm, moist air began to rise, causing updrafts. As the hot air cooled, it became heavier and started to fall, now causing the rain and, more importantly, those downdrafts. So it's the combination of the up and downdrafts that caused the violent movement in the air, and it turned a severe storm. Now, the path of the storm was very interesting as well. It moved through the Gold Coast about 2 p.m, then into Brisbane by 4 p.m, but at this stage, the worst was still to come, because another ingredient was how long the whole thing lasted. As it moved into Brisbane and through the worst areas like the Gap, these up and down drafts had time to develop, and that's when the storm really became very intense, moving through that relatively thin path, not unlike a tornado. And Kay, there's more unsettled weather to come. I'll be back shortly with those details.
Okay, thanks, John. And we're now being told by Energex that some homes in the northwestern suburbs of Brisbane could be without power for at least another 48 hours. The clean-up and rebuilding, though, especially here in the Gap, will take much longer than that. Rod?
Thank you, Kay. Well, the storm's also provided another healthy boost to our dams, and there's more rain to come. But the state government is pushing ahead with its plan to add recycled water to our drinking supply, even though dam levels are now above 40% and rising. Ahead tonight, the recycled water debate, Sharon Godella's special report. And the chance to have your say on the issue.